What's up everyone, welcome back to another What If video. So I've taken a little hiatus from this What If, and you'll see why as the video goes on. Last time, we concluded everything that happened on Namek. Luckily, Goku and Broly were able to escape, landing on Yardrat. After a year or so of training on there, they just, well, went home. Goku went to Earth, and Broly went back to Namek. Simple as that. For this video, let's set a like goal of 2,500 likes, and once we reach that, I'll continue this series with another part. Anyways, let's pick up from here. So the reason I took a short break from this scenario is because I really didn't know where to go with it. But we did meet the like goal and there was a lot of demand. The thing is with the last part, it ends with Broly going back to Namek, which would happen. I mean, I'm sure my boy wouldn't just leave and go to Earth. It makes no sense. So he goes back there and chills. While on Earth, a lot of things remain the same. The android in Cell Saga goes pretty normally, except Frieza doesn't show up on Earth obviously. But there's no real major changes. Trunks actually does hear about Broly, which interests him, and he remembers that Bulma mentioned Broly. Yes, Broly actually exists in that timeline too. But they never saw him after Namek, and Trunks doesn't know how to contact him. It's something interesting to keep in mind though. Future Broly exists, with the same backstory. However, he did remain on Namek, much like the one in the present timeline, and also like the Broly in the present timeline, he's wondering, what's been going on with Earth? It would be nice if he could find it somehow. Let's take a short detour here actually and explain future Broly. He can't sense the androids and there's not many strong keys for him on Earth, so he's having a hard time finding it, even if he just wants to check it out. He hopes everything's okay and that this means everything's peaceful there. But what he doesn't realize is that all these key sources are gone because mostly everyone's dead. At least all the strong people. Back to the present timeline, this applies to present Broly as well. He doesn't know what's going on Earth, but he does pay attention to keys around the universe. Briefly, during the fight between Gohan and Cell, he senses this huge flare-up and realizes this is where Earth is. He remembers Gohan's key. And he senses Cell too. What is this? He's a mix of a bunch of other keys. Not to mention, not too long beforehand, he saw Goku again, once he came to Namek to pick up Dende. It was nice to catch up with him, and he promised that he would visit Earth sometime. And it seems like now's not the time. He does consider intervening, but it seems like everyone's got it handled. As for the Buu Saga, Broly also still remains on Namek. But, towards the end, he does get involved. He pays close attention to everything happening, now that he knows where Earth is, and he can sense all these strong keys. I mean, it's not really something he can ignore either, especially when Goku goes Super Saiyan 3. He can tell this is Goku, but what is happening? Holy crap. Broly begins seeing from this point on, yeah, things are pretty bad on Earth right now. But just when he's about to intervene, he senses everyone's keys drop, and feels like the fighting's over. But sure enough, it's the Buu Saga, so fights keep on flaring up. And at one point he even senses Goku and Vegeta together, not the two of them fighting together, like both of their keys combined somehow. And they're fighting what feels like Gohan and Piccolo and someone else mixed with another person? This is all really confusing for him, and a little dangerous. He doesn't want to intervene right now. But as soon as all those energies drop once again, Broly briefly departs Namek. He wants to make sure Earth is okay, and this is around the point where Buu begins transforming into Kid Buu. Goku and Vegeta watch in disgust as he transforms. Look how weak he is now. He's definitely not a threat, right? Unfortunately, he still is. Kid Buu grins. He launches an attack towards the two, and it's blocked by someone else. They see who it is, Broly. What's he doing here? Well, he wanted to make sure Earth was okay, and it seems it still isn't. There's still this threat right in front of him. And it's good because it seems like he came at the right time, because soon after, Buu decides to blow up Earth. Oh crap, but Broly being here actually helps. He wasn't sure if he should have intervened before, but now seems like a good time. With an extra person being able to teleport, he's able to grab some people that Goku couldn't, quickly snatching up Piccolo, Goten, Trunks, and Gohan, throwing two of them in Vegeta's hands. And just barely, Shin arrives in time to help them escape. They're now in the sacred world of Kai's, with an unconscious group of fighters, and Broly. Quickly, Kibito goes over to everyone and heals them, and while they're saddened by the loss of Earth, Broly brings up, they still have Namek's Dragon Balls and he'd be glad to help them. Oh yeah, they forgot about this. Just as they're trying to catch Broly up to speed, and as everyone else wakes up from being healed, Kid Buu teleports to the same planet they're on. Oh no. But actually, it's okay this time. Broly talks some sense into Goku and gets him to realize they need as much power as possible to fight. Goku shouldn't take on Kid Buu alone. Broly, Vegeta, and even Gohan are going to join in the fight. And with the four of them together, it actually kind of seems like overkill. Ultimate Gohan, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, and Broly all fight Buu together. And Broly actually shows something off here. Through all of his training on Namek, and from what he saw with Goku, he was able to get his own Super Saiyan form, but it seems a little different from everyone else's. Nonetheless, it's really, really powerful. Even without Broly, it would have been overkill against Kid Buu, but with Broly, it's just extra overkill. I mean, why? This is just playing it really safe. Kid Buu does not survive this. And it seems like all is saved. Now all they need to do is go to Namek and get the Dragon Balls, which the Namekians have already gathered, thanks to Broly's early warning. he had a feeling they might need them, and he actually spent some time gathering them himself. He teleports the group to Namek so they can all watch. This is pretty sick for Goten and Trunks. They get to see 2 new planets in one day. Awesome. 3 wishes are made. 1, restore the planet Earth. 2, revive all the good people that died. Vegeta even gets brought back. Cool. And they don't really know what to do with the 3rd wish, but curiously, Kibito Kai wonders if Porunga can separate them. Turns out he can, and they get separated. Elder Kai is just disgusted by this abuse of the Dragon Balls, but whatever. These guys all help save the universe, so they deserve it. Broly's pretty happy to see everyone again, especially Dende, and he catches up with all of them. He's happy on Namek and his people are prospering. Dende and Piccolo are really glad to hear this. And he notices something different about Piccolo. Another energy is within him. Not only does he have Nail inside, but he has Kami too. That Namekian fusion thing worked out really well for him. And he's happy for Piccolo. Remember, he is part Nail after all, so Broly does care about him. He's even invited to the after party. And I guess this is his first time truly visiting Earth. Well, he did before when it got blown up, but this time he actually gets to visit with it intact. Earth food is pretty good. And even with all the crazy things he heard about and witnessed on this planet, it still seems pretty nice. He hopes to see everyone again soon, and once again goes back to his planet. It was a nice little catch up, and he actually got to use that Super Saiyan form he trained for. Thank God he hasn't had to use it to defend Namek. It's been pretty peaceful here and he wants to keep it that way. But this isn't his last time on Earth. Far from it, because mere years later, Beerus arrives on Earth, and Battle of Gods also goes similarly to normal, up until the ritual, where they realize they need an extra Saiyan. Before Videl could even step in and reveal that she has Pan, Goku instantly goes to Namek. Broly's surprised to see him there. He hopes something's not wrong with Earth. Goku nonchalantly says that everything's fine, except there is a god of destruction there trying to find a Super Saiyan god. Broly's stomach drops. Beerus is on Earth, and he's looking for a Super Saiyan god. He feels like Goku's really downplaying the gravity of this situation. From all the stuff he's learned through the Namekian legends, I'm sure Broly would know who Beerus is, and maybe even a little bit about the Super Saiyan god. So he assumes they want to do the ritual. Goku's pretty surprised to hear this. Seems like they didn't need to waste a wish on Shenron, they could have just asked Broly. But regardless, Broly decides to join him, and they head to Earth. Beerus is pretty intrigued. This Saiyan seems pretty strong. Is he gonna become the Super Saiyan god? Nope, Goku is. Goku just needed someone extra for the ritual. But yeah, his friend Broly, he's pretty strong. And the ritual does happen like normal. So why didn't they give Super Saiyan God to Broly? Well, the form does interest him, and he's even offered to get the form and train with Beerus, but he declines. For now, he doesn't really want to be away from Namek for too long. But if Beerus allows, he can visit occasionally during training. He does have instant transmission after all. So it's not like they need to spend gas money to pick him up, or whatever they have to use to fuel Whis. He's basically a taxi for them. But also he avoids the ritual because rather than doing that, he'd want him work for the power, not wanting to have it handed to him. Besides, even though he only has Super Saiyan, right now, he's way stronger than anyone else actually. Well, obviously besides Goku. But Broly is ahead of pretty much everyone else. And this gets him and a few other people thinking, how strong would Broly be with Super Saiyan God? While he doesn't go for it right away, he keeps the offer in mind. But now, he's actually gonna get more involved. He does stay on Namek, but he occasionally visits Beerus' planet since he was invited. And sometimes he drops in on Earth. Occasionally he does do some training and is passively exposed to God Ki. The training on Beerus' planet seems pretty rigorous. And in Super Saiyan, he's not able to keep up with Super Saiyan God Goku or Vegeta. At least not at first. He is adapting. We all know how Broly is, and eventually, he probably would catch up to them, which is crazy to think about. That did basically happen in the Broly movie after all. And those are much, much stronger versions of Goku and Vegeta. I imagine it wouldn't be too hard here. Even when they eventually get blue, Broly still keeps up with them. They should have just called him to defeat Frieza. He would have been a good help. And Beerus is getting a little impatient. This guy keeps coming to the planet basically freeloading. Why doesn't he get Super Saiyan God? Beerus wants a good rival, and Broly seems like the perfect candidate. Well, at least for now, it seems like he's helping motivate Goku and Vegeta because they somehow want to reach his level. And little does he know, he's actually got some God Ki infused within him after all this time training and exposure. And Broly's beginning to realize, he can't get too much stronger if he trains on Namek. He can still protect it by using it in transmission and being available whenever to help. He does have some options though, and he begins wondering, should he actually stay with Beerus? Or maybe he could even go to Yardrat. Apparently there's way more in Yardrat that he didn't learn. Some spirit control thing. Maybe he can go back and try and learn that. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think he'd want to visit Yardrat or stay with Beerus for a bit? But besides that, he even gets recruited for the Universe 6 tournament. No Monaka this time. He does have one request though. Can he bring all the Namekians with him to watch? And this creates for a pretty funny situation. While there's all the people on Earth there, most of the bleachers are filled with Namekians. A giant green crowd is looming over the whole match. Hey, they haven't been off the planet in a while. It would be nice to leave for a bit and go to this tournament. Beerus is a little annoyed by this request, but he allows it because of how strong Broly is, and he knows he's a valuable asset. And needless to say, the Universe 6 tournament is won. And you may be wondering, Salad, why did you just skip over that whole arc? Well, for one, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're going to win. They got Broly on their team. But two, it's because I wanted to save some time. Because we're going to talk a little bit about time travel. Once again moving to the future, because we're going to talk about Future Broly. I mentioned him briefly in the beginning of the video, but let's go more in depth here. Future Broly is just enjoying his peace on Namek, but this time, he senses something strong. Kinda like present Broly during the Buu Saga, he senses something malicious on Earth. See, in the present timeline, Broly thought it would be okay. There's a bunch of other strong power levels there. He sensed Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo. It seemed like they have it under control. But Future Broly has a different reaction. He only says his 3 good powers, and he doesn't recognize them. Just to make sure, he double checks. This is Earth after all. And he's getting a little concerned. Something seems very, very wrong. Why aren't Goku and Vegeta joining the fight? More importantly, where's Piccolo? It is Nail after all, and he's really hoping that Piccolo didn't die. Gohan, Krillin, and everyone else as well. While this fight's going on, Broly decides out of curiosity that he wants to check out Earth, just to make sure everything's okay. He teleports there and surprises everyone, interrupting a life or death battle. A battle which involves Trunks, Shin, and Kibito versus Deborah and Babidi. He asks if this is Earth and if Goku is there, and Trunks awkwardly says that he's dead. But yeah, this is Earth. This is a surprise for Broly, who introduces himself, and Trunks remembers his name. So this guy's Broly, the Saiyan from Namek. Huh, looks like they actually found him. Cool. Babidi and Deborah are pissed with all this chit-chat, and Shin and Kibito are just confused. So while everyone's distracted, Deborah decides to attack Broly, swinging his sword at the Saiyan. Broly quickly flares into Super Saiyan, and with a single swipe of his finger, he slices the sword in half. What? They were having so much trouble with Deborah, and then this guy comes in able to handle him so easily. Deborah even tries spitting on Broly. But Broly's quick enough to dodge. He doesn't even need to be warned. He can just tell. Someone spitting on him, that's not something he wants to get hit with. He's far too strong and far too fast for Deborah. Using instant transmission, he gets behind the Majin servant, aiming his hand upwards and launching a blast that kills Deborah. Babidi was happy before because it seemed like this guy would be a good source of energy. But now he's just scared. Really scared. And rightfully so because Trunks kills him right after. Shin and Kibito are amazed, as is Trunks. So now that they have free time, it's actually time for some explanations. Broly explains that he came here because he was concerned, and he knew Goku before. Apparently he just saved Earth. Huh, I guess that's a debt repaid from Namek before. But yeah, he's glad that he could help. Wait, Trunks remembers, this guy's from Namek. That means he has Dragon Balls, right? Sadly, it turns out Broly can't revive Goku. Broly explains, Goku did die from natural causes, and that's something that can't be fixed. But there is still some hope. Porunga can revive some people. Porunga's been upgraded so that he can revive groups. But since the Dragon Team's been dead for over a year, they can't all be revived together. If Trunks decides to do that, which he might not even do, they would all have to be revived separately. However, he's still happy to help and lend some wishes, and his first goal is to restore all the damage done to Earth by Deborah and Babidi, then reviving everyone killed by them, essentially nullifying all their damage. Shin and Kibito take an interest in this guy, alongside their interest in Trunks, a Saiyan raised on Namek and a hybrid Saiyan. Definitely a weird combo in 2 very interesting cases. Also 2 very strong cases. Speaking of Shin and Kibito, Shin lives, which means Beerus lives. As for the future timeline, I might keep this as a side story depending on what happens in the next part. And this will be all up to you guys. I'm going to pose you a question. Do you think Zamasu will be deterred from this timeline because Beerus is here, or do you think he'll still show up? Because if he doesn't show up, this will remain as a side series, since the future timeline won't be intertwined with the present timeline. It'll be easier to keep everything organized. But anyways, let's leave off here for now. So how do you think things will go in the present timeline? Where will Broly go to train? And as for the future timeline, what do you think will happen there? Do you think Trunks and even Broly will train with Shin and Kibito? Will Zamasu appear? Let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit the like goal from the beginning of the video. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.